So in today's video, we're going to be talking about when to go and buy fodder going into Team of the Year. But before we do go and start the video, if you guys are interested, I do offer a daily subscriber trading guide on Twitch/Discord, which between now and the 1st of January, you will receive daily investments and you can go and message me off stream. So to get that, all you got to do is subscribe over on Twitch, which you can do by clicking on here. You can subscribe for free of Amazon Prime. If not, it's £5, €5, or $6. In there again, until the 1st of February, you will receive daily investments. Some of the investments that have done very, very well were some of the outer pack investments this week. For example, we recommended Trent at 4.6k. Well, Trent is now up to 8k, so that's done very well. We then had the likes of Mappy Leone, who again still has plenty of time to go and rise at 12k, and she's already at 14,250. We then had the likes of Millie Bright. Millie Bright recommended up to 2.9. She's already up to 5.4k. And finally, a really, really low budget investment. We have Lewis Dunk, who we recommended at 500 coins. Well, he has risen up to 1.7k. On top of that, actually we've got another one. We got Vahalovic, we recommended at 1.6, and he's already up to 2.5. So loads of fodder investments doing really, really well. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about, is there another investing opportunity / what do we expect with fodder between now through to Team of the Year. So last year, investing in fodder around Team of the Year was a really, really good investment. There was a few different sort of areas, and there was a few reasons why stuff went up. So in today's video, we're going to be covering kind of what sort of investments we recommend, where there's still room, and what is the best rating to go and buy. So let's start off by having a little look at 83s last year. Now, this is 83s this year, sorry. Let's have a look at 83s from last year. Now, we are right here. We're on the Tuesday, Wednesday. So last year, what we saw fodder rising between the weekend, then up to Wednesday, Thursday. It then went down with Weekend League, and then from the Saturday, it rose from 1k all the way up there to 1.6k. Well, this, to an extent, because we can't fully see stuff rises at the moment, but to an extent, this should be kind of what we should see this year. Or this week, where we should see these 83s has probably got to a K, maybe 1.1k tonight for all the upgrade SBCs. We then expect them going down in price, and then we expect them rising going into next Wednesday. Wednesday is a very consistent point where the market will go and peak. I can show you right there. We can see when they've risen as of recently, they rose there up until a Wednesday. We can see right there up until a Wednesday. We can see there up until a Tuesday. And we can see right here actually all the way up until a Friday. But we saw a significant rise on the Wednesday. So a very consistent trend on these low rated fodder is that it will rise going into the Wednesday. Now, would I recommend buying 83s? I probably wouldn't, because I'd say this year 83s are just too common. If we go and look at how they reacted last year, what we can see is that 83s barely ever sat on discard. Discard. But if they did sit on discard, it wasn't for really any longer than a few days. Whereas if we go and look at 83s this year, this is literally 83s this year. I'll take off PC. You can see how they've been for discard so much longer. So I feel like this year, 83s are quite null and void when it comes to investing, because the supply is insane this year. On top of that, for 83s to really do well, you either need 83s being required, or you need 84s rising. So it's kind of, if you invest in 84s, you kind of cover the 83 rise, because they normally only rise if the 84s rise, so you might as well just go and invest in 84s, because 84s can rise about 83s rising, if that's not too complicated. So let's have a look at what the trends were of 84s last year. So again, we can see this was the equivalent of this weekend, where they were 1.7. They then rose up there to 2.3, kind of peaking again on the Wednesday. They went down on the Friday through to the Saturday. And then we went and saw them rise between the Saturday through to the following Wednesday. We've already kind of seen this trend happen a little bit already this week, where fodder was cheap last week. It then has risen up until the Monday. And I would say it should now continue rising up until the Wednesday. So again, the trends were, it rose up until the Wednesday, then went down Friday, Saturday, and then started rising as of Sunday, probably with the new icon pack. And I think we'll be able to get the exact same trend this year. I'd say these will rise up until the Wednesday. They'll go down with division rivals. They'll go down with the initial packs being open for Weekend League. And I'd say maybe either Friday evening or Saturday evening, I think that the low-rated fodder, 84s, will go and be the cheapest, in which we can go and buy it and then go and sell it on a Wednesday, because again, a Wednesday is a reoccurring high point. Once again, you can see right there, a Wednesday being the highest last week. The reason the market is the highest on the Wednesday is because of the resupply we go and get on the Thursday with div rivals. So 84s I do think can be pretty good. 83s did actually outperform 84s last year, but like I said earlier in the video, I think 83s are just way too supplied for them to really do that well. So 84s are good. Also, 84s have shown that they can go from 1.4 all the way up there to 2.1k. So they've already shown that they don't have an oversupply in the market to not let them go and rise when there is demand. But what about 85s? So this is how 85s did. 85s last year, just kept on rising every day, to be honest. They rose from this Sunday of 4.5k. They then went and rose till the Wednesday. We see that the percentage rise, to be honest, they actually didn't do too badly up until the Friday. And they peaked the following Wednesday. Although, again, there wasn't really much of a rise between that Thursday and holding on to them for another few days. So not too bad. The only problem I have with 85s this year, again, we didn't really see a drop with Div Rivals, nor did we see a drop with over the weekend. And I imagine that's because there would have been back-to-back required. The problem we have with 85s this year is they've already gone from 3k to 5k. The reason they've done this is because we had upgrade SBCs over the weekend, which is quite rare. And then they've also been needed for upgrade SBCs, I believe, as of yesterday. So you can go with 85s, but I think they're going to be a lot more risky to go with than 84s, sorry, if I'm not wrong. The 84s were inflated before Sunday, Monday, whereas if we go and look at the 85s, if I'm not wrong, the problem we have is that the footbin wasn't working over the weekend, so we don't have all the prices tracked. But basically, I'd like the 84s a bit more than 85s. Also, 84s are normally required a lot more often for upgrade SBCs than 85s, which can work nicely in your favour. So 85s could be an investment on the Saturday evening, but I would definitely dub them as probably more risky, and I don't think there's more demand than the 84s. Also, just going back to that investment we had earlier, why did I recommend the likes of Trent, Bright, Mappy, Leone? That's because all these cards were going out of packs for the promo, and because they were all going out of packs for the promo, we know they're going to get rarer and rarer. So if there's new players leaked that are SBC fodder that are going out of packs for this promo, or maybe even next week's Team of the Week, they can definitely be a good investment, because you can see that an 86 Trent is up at 8k, whereas if I go and show you another 86 like Ronaldo, you can see he's only 6k. So you get more security and you can get a higher percentage rise if there's high demand. So moving on to 86s. Now again, we did go and see a big rise on 86s already. They've already gone from 4k up to 6k, so I don't quite think as high a percentage as the 85s, but they've already done pretty well. Well, how did 86 do this time of the year last year? Well, again, we saw them going from 7k, then up to 8.5k. They then had a small dip right there on the Thursday, but then would have been needed for back-to-back weeks. The only problem is the money wasn't too insane here. You could have bought for 8.5 and then sold at, 10.2. So you would have made like 1k per card. So again, even though 86s were okay, I don't think they're outperforming the 84s regarding investments. We now move on to 87s, and I'll be honest with you, there's a bit of an interesting trend. And the reason there's an interesting trend is that last year these went from 11k up to 14k, and I'd say fodder's probably done as well this year, which has gone from 5.5 up there, nearly up to 8k. But I'm very surprised by this, because EA released the exact same icon SBC as they did 2 weeks ago, and even 2 weeks ago it wasn't too desirable. So we've already seen 87s do pretty well. The problem we have is once they kind of rose for that initial icon SBC, we didn't really see them doing too much better. We saw them peaking up there on the 14, and then they went up to like 15.7. I don't really think, again, compared to some of that low rated fodder, I don't really think it's a play, especially now it is inflated. Now, if you want to go back down to maybe 6.5k during division rivals or over the weekend, it can be an okay investment. The problem with the higher the rated fodder, probably the lower the chance it's needed next week. And the reason I say that is because next week's a hero SBC, and as a result, hero SBCs are quite cheap. So I don't think the high rated fodder is probably coming in a little bit more risky. We then move on to 88s. How did 88s react last year? Well, it was the exact same thing, maybe to a more extreme extent, where they rose for that icon SBC, and then after that initial rise for the icon SBC, there was just no money for like a week or two. So I'd say it's the exact same with 88s this year, where we've seen there's been a rise for the icon SBC, but I think after that icon SBC, unless they're going to go and drop any insane player SBCs, I can't see there being much rise. And I think we're going to end off looking at fodder with the likes of 90 Lewandowski. Interesting enough, 90 Lewandowski actually just didn't do very well last year, and I think the same with 90s this year. I don't really back. Do I not have De Bruyne up? I don't really back them doing that well, and De Bruyne again isn't up, nor do I really recommend him as an investment. But what about Team of the Weeks? Now, Team of the Weeks have a really interesting trend, because actually these go this year against what happened last year. So last year, what we saw that we went and got ourselves upgrade SBCs. I would want to say it was here. We got upgrade SBCs needing Team of the Weeks. Now I showed you that 83s and 84s went up for this upgrade SBC. But weirdly enough, Team of the Weeks, they came out and then they just went down in price. So obviously 83s and 4s are going up because of the upgrade SBC, but Team of the Weeks were going down. It was a very weird trend. And I guess because maybe it being a bit of a weird trend last year, it's kind of gone against that this year. Whereas yesterday's upgrade SBC came out, and these Team of the Weeks went from 13.5 and they're up to 16. I can also go and show you a Team of the Week from the current Team of the Week. There we go. And they went from 12.5 to 15.5. So Team of the Weeks have done really well this year in comparison to last year. So what were the sort of trends we saw last year? Where we saw them basically dropping until the Thursday. That would have been Div Rivals. We then saw a little bit of a rise over the weekend, but then again, when we went and got the Hero SBC next Sunday, they kind of went down. So I'll be honest with you, I probably wouldn't want to invest in them going into next week unless they're going to go down to 11, 12k, because then the risk is minimal. But if we're still looking at these being 15, 16k on the Thursday, on the Friday, on the Saturday, I probably wouldn't want to go and buy these. Now, if they are a buy, when will they probably be the cheapest? Well, we can see that the current Team Week were the cheapest on the Sunday. So that basically buying late evening on the Saturday, early morning on the Sunday. And likewise, even the Team Weeks that are out of packs, these were the cheapest on the Monday before rising. So again, I probably would look at buying these on the Saturday evening, Sunday morning, just because even if we look at the Sunday on the stuff that was out of packs, it was still relatively cheap compared to its cheapest point. So Team of the Weeks, if you want to go and buy them, I wouldn't really say. I think they're going to continue rising through to this evening. Again, we see Wednesday being the peak for a lot of things. I also think that'll be the case with Team of the Weeks. We can actually see that they peaked on Wednesday last week. So I think, if you're in Team of the Weeks, I'd go and sell them around about 6 to 7 p.m. Today, and then I'd look at buying these back maybe a Saturday evening, Sunday morning, although we can't really use last year's trends. And that kind of wraps up what I think to do regarding fodder for Team of the Year. We're talking pre-Team of the Year. There were some high rises on fodder post-Team of the Year, but we'll go and cover that in a different video. Now let's just briefly talk about all the other content that's come on FIFA. Other than the icon pack, we did go and get ourselves the 10 times 83, so potentially one of the reasons, the choice of pick 3 out of the 10, 80 plus, and you get 10 picks, blah, 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 blah. Well, it required 4 84s and an 83 rated squad, so again, another reason why we might see 84s up a little bit. Not that desirable, though. And on top of that, we went and got ourselves a Wissa SBC. And again, Wissa probably just not having a standout enough card for the Evos, the SBCs we've had as of recently. So he didn't really go and do anything to the market. A few things on the likes of Twitter, which we have to go and cover. We talked about an Evo recently. That goes and fits defenders. It fits Conde. It fits Tagliafico. It fits Azoko. But, have I not got it? It is an Evo that gives technical plus, which obviously is a highly desirable playstyle plus to have if you're a winger, but not quite sure why they're talking a lot of defenders if it's going to give, presumably in this Evo, a high dribbling boost and technical. It's a bit of a weird angle. Maybe it's okay on fullbacks, but yeah, not to, I don't know. I don't think it'll do much to the market. I don't think it's going to go and crash your centre-backs, your left-backs, your right-backs, which we did initially see a bit of a drop on, with the initial hype of there being a defender Evo. And there we go, so that's the Evo. Now on top of that, Team of the Week has been leaked. These are your best players. We've got ourselves a second informed Pajora, a second informed Gokrez, a second informed Kirks, which would be an interesting card. An informed Martinez, an informed Gordon, an informed Pellegrini, a McTominay, despite him also having a promo card in packs at the moment. Oh no, that's Billy Gilmore, ignore me. Ross Barkley, Roniger, and Casiedo. Not too insane, but who would be an interesting one? Kirks will probably be interesting to flip. Martinez will probably be interesting to flip. Maybe Gordon will be interesting to flip. Maybe Pajor will be interesting to flip. Other than that, I can't see, at least there, too many more of them being interested. And literally in the recent hour, we've also had a patch. Apparently it's a bit of a mini patch, and there might be another patch coming down the line. In this one, what was nerfed? First time lotted through balls and nerfed AI, auto tackles and AI. Apparently they've put in the notes that they're going to be nerfing these in the future. Ground passing, speed players without the ball catching up to the dribbler, keeper positioning, finesse shot, playstyle balancing, AI defending, assisted shooting with finesse shots and laces, and tackle backs. Which is interesting because half of that seems like stuff they should have fixed in the first month. But hey. Other stuff that's been changed, but the double walkout animation. You no longer see the best player in the animation first. You see the lower rated, and then it shows you another player, which obviously is nice for anticipation. and you know, a bit more excitement in there. And yeah, that's going to go and wrap that up. Thank you very much for watching today's video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.